name's Brendan O'Sullivan, a Toastmaster from Brisbane, Australia. Welcome to my Toastmasters World Tour podcast. Please join me as I travel virtually around the world and chat to Toastmasters from different countries and all walks of life. Let's explore! For this episode of Toastmasters World Tour, we travel virtually to China's capital, Beijing, meaning Northern City, formerly mispronounced as Peking, the home of traditional Hutong neighbourhoods, the Forbidden City, and Tiananmen Square, to chat to Lele, a three-time Olympic volunteer and English major, who is a project manager working on international programs between China and the United Nations. Let's take a look at his Toastmasters journey in the context of the Chinese Toastmasters scene and its benefits. Huanying Guanlin, welcome, Lele. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your invitation, Brandon. It's a great honor for me to be here to have a chat with you about Toastmasters. Hi, everyone. My name is Lele. I'm from China. Currently, I'm working in Beijing as a project manager. My work is dealing with those international cooperation programs between China and the UN. I used to be an English major. This kind of work is quite relevant to my major and to my interest. As for Toastmasters, I joined Toastmasters 2.5 years ago, and my home club is called the EF Phoenix's Toastmasters Club, with an 18-year history in China. So it's a long history club in Beijing, and currently there are 54 members there. It's a big club in District 88. Also served my club as a VPM and also a president. And currently I'm an area director in my district. I'm continuing my Toastmasters journey as a leader, and also I think I'm always a volunteer to serve our members and our clubs, and I think this is a great place for us to grow and to strive to be a better self. Thank you, Brandon.
And why did you join Toastmasters in the first place?
Back to 2023. At that time, I thought I should pick up my oral English because in my last work, I didn't have any opportunity to speak English. And I thought that I need to keep the kind of feeling to speak English because I think English is so important. No matter if I work or if I live or travel, I think English is something that I didn't want to give up. So that's my first aspiration to join Toastmasters. But after I joined EF Phoenix's, I thought that at Toastmasters I could gain more than just speaking English, because there are so many nice people there and I can learn a lot from them. So it's one of the wisest choices I've ever made, I think.
Improving your English must have helped with your work dealing with the United Nations. Has it
Yes.
helped in any other way?
Yes, actually, I changed my work in 2025, last year. I think after 2 years training or 2 years experience at Toastmasters, it helped me a lot when I was hunting for a new job. Last year, I think I did a great job in the interview, and I thought I would contribute my success of the interview to my experience or to my contribution to Toastmasters in the past 2 years.
Recently, it was Chinese New Year, so 恭喜发财.
Thank you, 谢谢.
How did you celebrate Chinese New Year?
I went back home. My hometown is in Zhejiang province.
Uh-huh.
So it's in the east southeast part of China.
Hmm.
And I went back home and had a reunion with my family. We had a big feast together, and we also watched the Spring Festival Gala on the Chinese Spring Festival Eve. It is like a quite a tradition in China for
Mm.
the Chinese people to get together and watch the gala together. And we would also make the fireworks there. So it's quite a celebration that we had in the Spring Festival.
Was that on TV?
Yes, the Spring Festival was streamlined by CCTV
Hmm.
on TV or on the internet. So everyone, no matter you can watch it at every corner, each corner of the world.
Uh-huh. Awesome. And how was the transport getting back home?
The transport, actually, I took the airplane back.
Uh-huh.
It will take like 2 hours,
Okay.
but usually we have our high-speed train. It's very convenient. One, it's almost the most convenient way for us to travel across China because we have the most developed high-speed railway
Mm.
network, I think. And
Mm.
but in the Spring Festival, we call it 春运, which means the transportation or the travel. Yes, the rush travel between the Spring Festival, which will last for 40 days. And during that time, all those high-speed train tickets are so hard to get because,
Mm.
especially within the week of the Spring Festival holiday, so it's very not easy. It's not easy to
Mm.
get the train tickets. So I chose to buy an airplane ticket. Mhm.
Mm. Joshua, that's exactly why I asked, because everyone's trying to return to their hometowns, aren't they? So it's a massive transport issue. But it sounds
Yeah,
like it went
so
well
many
for you, so
people.
that's good to hear. Everyone's at home, so I guess Toastmasters is probably not happening so much during that Golden Week, during Chinese New Year. Did you subsequently or beforehand celebrate Chinese New Year in your Toastmasters club meeting in any way?
Oh yes, actually, I still remember that the last meeting before the Spring Festival, that we held a special meeting themed as the Chinese upcoming Chinese New Year. I think some of our senior members bring some calligraphy, the
Uh-huh.
Chinese traditional calligraphy, and we used it as a table topic.
Ah,
Yes,
okay. Awesome.
those traditional Chinese calligraphy, there are some writings there, some best wishes, some wishes in the Chinese style. So we had it, and every table topic speaker can come up on the stage and pick one and share a 2 minute speech about this kind of wish. It, yes, so I think that is kind of creative way to celebrate the Chinese New Year in
Mm,
Toastmasters, and it is also a kind of promotion of our own culture.
I love that. Is that common to use calligraphy as a trigger for table topics?
Actually, I think in the last year, our club, my club, had two kind of like calligraphy themed table topics.
Okay. So it's not rare, but it's not your regular occurrence either.
Yeah, not that regular because we have either very creative or interesting table topics.
Okay. So during the meeting, did they have a lion dance?
Oh no, that's kind of I think too difficult for us to get those. I mean, to get those stuff or to. I think it's kind of professional dance
Yes.
because it's originated from the south of China, and
Uh-huh.
it's kind of a very festive. I mean, it's a festive
Yes.
activity in China, and not that easy to have those actors or performers in Toastmasters. But maybe I think it's a good proposal. Maybe next time we can have a try to have a line dance in Toastmasters meeting.
I mean, it's very entertaining, but it's also very loud. I think it'd be hard to hear anyone speak.
Yes, very loud. Yes.
So, and what about firecrackers? Did they set any firecrackers off? during the meeting?
Yes, fireworks. Yeah, fireworks
During the club
during.
meeting?
No, but it will have fireworks. It will be fireworks when people are having those line meeting.
Yes, yeah. But during your club meeting, did you ever set off some firecrackers?
No, that's dangerous.
Yeah, start talking. One aspect of Toastmasters is volunteering for executive roles. Now, I know you've done not only executive roles in Toastmasters, but you also have, outside of Toastmasters, extensive volunteering experience, including for the Olympics. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Actually, I'm also an Olympic volunteer for 3 times for
Wow.
Rio 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil, then Pyeongchang 2018 Olympic Winter Games in South Korea,
Right.
and the last one is Paris 2024 Olympic Games in France. So these are my 3 Olympic experiences. All of them are fantastic and unforgettable. I think they are one of the life-changing decisions that I've ever made.
Awesome. What was your role exactly?
Actually, for the 3 Olympic Games, my role are event services members or event services volunteer. And my role there, all my responsibilities there are like checking the tickets,
Okay.
guiding the pedestrians, uh, spectators, and also helping those spectators with physical challenges.
Okay.
Also, I would provide language services if necessary. So these are my main tasks there.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So, what did you enjoy the most about volunteering for the Olympics?
Wow. I think I enjoyed most the people there. For
Hmm.
example, when I was in Rio 10 years ago, I still remember that one day I was working like for like 8 hours. I was standing outside the stadium, the venue, and there was Brazilian lady who came to me, and she saw my volunteer my name card or my credential. So she asked me, "Fala Portuguese?" I said, "No, I speak English."
Hmm.
Wow! And then she just changed her language and said, "Wow, where are you from?" I said, "I'm from China." And then
Mm.
she said, "Thank you for coming here to help us."
Mm.
Wow! At that moment, that I thought, even after a long day work, but when I heard her words, I felt so warm, and I thought that
Lovely.
everything is so worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's are the moments that I cherished so much. Even after 10 years, I still remember and I could always recall it so vividly. Yes.
I love that. It gave you the warm and fuzzies. It reminds me of a time when I was in Harbin in northeast China in winter. It was negative 35 degrees and night was falling, and we just walked back across the frozen Song River, and there were families camping in tents on the edge of the frozen river. And a local person walked right across my path, and just out of politeness, I said, "Wan Shang Hao," which is, as you know, good evening. And they just stopped and took a double take and said, "Oh, wow, you speak Chinese." And I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, a bit." And and they invited me and my daughter inside their family tent around their little campfire and started feeding us kebabs and wanted to get to know us. And it was that personal interaction was just so rich and heartwarming and physically warming
Yeah,
too with the campfire. So I love those.
exactly.
I totally relate those personal experiences that you get and how language can really open those things up.
Yes, exactly. I think these people are so lovely. The Chinese people, as you mentioned, and the Brazilian people, they are so lovely, so helpful, and always make us warm, heart warmed. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of the Olympics, and you're in Beijing, it reminds me of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And it was where I first started learning a bit of Chinese. And one of the first words I learnt because of the Beijing Olympics was "jiao," which, because
Yeah.
you'd see these crowds of the Chinese, they were getting all very excited and going "jiao, jiao," which, as you know, means,
Yes.
and the literal translation in English is "add oil," but it's the way of saying "come on,
Come
go,
on.
give it your best." And
Yes.
that sort of led to an interest there. But it sounds like you didn't volunteer at the Beijing Olympics. You look quite young. I'm imagining you were pretty young at the time.
Yes, I was pretty young at Beijing during the Beijing Olympics but I thought I was quite influenced by the Beijing Olympic Games. Back then, I was just 13 years old, and I
Yeah.
was in middle school.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, I was in my hometown, and I didn't come to Beijing. I didn't watch the games in person,
Uh,
but I watched the whole event on TV.
yeah.
At that time, I was so proud for my
Mm,
country, for
yes.
the Olympics, and
Uh-huh.
at that time, I thought that I must, I must participate in the event one day when I grow up, when I have time, when I have energy, when I have passion.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that I made it after like 8 years.
Well
Yes,
done. Yeah.
yes. So that's the first time that I made the decision to to be a volunteer at the Olympic Games. So yes, Beijing Olympic is is the beginning.
Very, very influential. It planted the seed, and it's great to see that sort of come to fruition later on. So well done. Recently, we had the Winter Olympics in Italy. You didn't get interested in being involved in that?
I think yes, I'm interested in it, and I've also watched a lot of games there. Uh, but I mean on TV.
Yeah.
But I think that being a volunteer, being an Olympic volunteer, is quite a kind of exhausting. I mean, to some
Sure.
extent, because it's quite of tiring, and
Hmm.
I think when I grow up or when I get into the workplace, I don't have that much, I mean, time, or I don't have that long holiday because I have to take a leave for
Yeah.
volunteering. If
Yes.
for the especially for the Olympics, I have to stay there for like more than half a month.
Hmm.
So it's not that easy for us to take such a long leave there. And I think when I decided to get to Paris because it was in my 20s, I thought Paris would be I think Paris would be a happy ending for my Olympic volunteering journey
Uh,
in my 20s.
uh-huh.
So I thought it was a perfect circle
Mhm.
from 2016 to 2024. And I served 3 Olympic Games in Paris. I mean, in the volunteers in the Olympics. And maybe after I entered 30, I thought I would have more more thing to do. And even though I'm not an Olympic volunteer right now, I think I would also serve or be a volunteer in other areas like I'm serving those UN volunteers or something else. Yes, I think I'm also a volunteer. Oh, yes, you can see that I'm a volunteer at Toastmasters.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that three Olympics is amazing. That's a massive effort. You mentioned just now volunteering for the United Nations. What sort of capacity would that be in?
Okay, actually, I'm not an UN volunteer, but I do serve because in some of our programs or projects, there are some UN volunteers
Hmm.
on site or online, and those projects are connected to SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals,
Okay,
and I think we are doing something to make the world a better place to live in. Yes.
awesome. Have you got some examples of that?
Yes, but for example, in China, we have established several projects like women empowerment projects in Yunnan, Waipla village, and also we have some like the UN procurement projects in Shanghai, which is aimed to promote the Chinese companies to be a qualified supplier for UN system. Yes. So these are something that we do promote the SDG of the UN and also for the priority areas of China's development.
Okay, awesome. When I was in Beijing in 2013, I went and watched Crosstalk, which is xiangsheng in Chinese. For our audience, Crosstalk is a traditional Chinese comedic performance, typically done by two people. It's all about witty banter, rapid-fire wordplay, puns, absurdity. It's been described as Chinese-style comedic sparring. Lele, have you ever been to a performance?
You mean Xiangsheng? You mean
Yeah.
Xiangsheng?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a pity that I didn't watch Xiangsheng in person, but I watched a lot on TV or
Uh-huh.
on my phone because it's kind of traditional. I think it's a special or typic Chinese art or performance. It's quite
Mm,
interesting, and we can laugh a lot
mm,
throughout the performance. Very interesting. Some of
yeah.
them are even ironic or humorous. Yes.
Mm. Has Crosstalk ever been used in any Toastmasters meetings or competitions?
Oh, not really, I think. But actually, in Toastmasters, in our meetings, we, we used try some role plays in the table topics. So in role plays, there are also usually two people, and
Ah,
they will hold different opinions, and so they will have a crosstalk, like you said. But we didn't hold a crosstalk competition or contest in Toastmasters yet.
okay.
But we do have a Chinese speech contest, yes.
And is that, sorry, that's table topics, so it's sort of impromptu crosstalk.
Yes, impromptu.
It sounds like one of the reasons you joined Toastmasters was to improve your English. So, your club meetings totally in English, or do you ever have any Chinese in the meetings?
Actually, my club is a purely English club.
Okay. Just one club that you're a member of?
Yes, I only have one club. Yeah.
But you're an area director for about five other clubs.
Yes, for other four clubs.
Okay, so you're an area director for four other clubs. Are any of them in Chinese?
Yes, we have like a bilingual Toastmasters club, and also there are pure English club there. Yes.
So with the bilingual clubs, do they have like one meeting in English and then another in Chinese, or is it mixed within the meeting?
One English, one Chinese.
Okay, so they don't mix it between like in an individual meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, in Beijing, there are also some other kind of like with special characteristics club. For example, we have like pure Chinese clubs, and also we have some impromptu drama. Like we have an like drama club where you can play impromptu drama there, and also we have some foreign language clubs like French club, and also we have a Japanese club.
These are all
Yes,
Toastmasters clubs.
yes, they're all Toastmasters clubs in
Oh,
different
wow.
languages.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you go into competitions, what language is that usually in?
Okay, for competitions, we only have the Chinese and English because um, for for those like what I said, Japanese and French, there are only one club in Beijing, so there are not so many people there to compete or to attend the contests.
Mhm.
Maybe they can have a like Japanese speech contest within their club, but for the area level or even district level, There will only be the Chinese speech contests, the international speech contest, and we have evaluation contest or table topics. Yes.
And so with the Chinese competitions, does that go all the way to district?
Yeah, the highest level for the Chinese speech contest would be the district level.
At the district level, is that including the international competition that would be in Chinese as well?
Yes, for district speech contests, there will be a Chinese speech contest as well, but only the international speech contest winner will advance to the next phase of this international speech contest.
Sure, I
So
get.
the champion, yeah, the champion of this district level for the Chinese speech contest will be the greatest honor for our Toastmasters in Beijing. Yes.
I hear what you're saying that some people join Toastmasters to improve their English. Another place I know Chinese go to improve their English is English corners. These are often informal gatherings in parks and other public places and used to be really popular. Is that still a thing?
Yes, I think so. I think there are also some English corners in Beijing, but I think they are actually two things different. Yes,
Sure. Where
because
I was driving at is that, one of the roles of club executives is to keep member numbers healthy because, like any club, there's going to be a natural rate of attrition. This means there needs to be a steady recruitment. So I'd imagine English Corners would be a good place to promote that. Has your club ever tried that, to go to English Corners to recruit Toastmasters members?
actually we don't have an like English corner style meeting because I think our club, yeah, Phoenix East Toastmasters Club, is kind of a professional one, and
Mhm.
we would follow the rules of Toastmasters, and we will have table topic sessions, we will have prepared speeches and also feedback session. So these are the very the structure that distinguish Toastmasters and other English corners. We grow because we receive feedbacks. We because we receive feedback, but in English corners, I think it's some where we can have free talks. We can talk anything. We can share our opinions.
Mm.
So it's more freestyle, I think. But in English at English corners, you may not receive any feedback. It's just about free talking, and people would be nice, and yeah, you will be very happy because you will just spend time talking and sharing opinions. You will not have any pressure before the meeting or before the English corner because you don't have a project list like in
Yeah, sure.
Toastmasters.
When I talk about recruitment, I'm saying when you need to find new members, have you ever thought of using English Corner as a place to find potentially interested people because they want to improve their English and, suggest that.
Ah, okay, I see. Actually, our new members are usually introduced by our members or other members from other clubs because they will tell those guests that yeah, Phoenix is one of the best Toastmasters clubs.
Uh-huh.
And also we would have some promotion in on social media in
Uh-huh.
Beijing, in China.
Okay.
So maybe they would find our club on the social media.
Uh-huh.
And we don't have an English corner to attract
Hmm.
new guests, but
Okay.
we do have like a gossip lunch after our regular meeting, and we would invite our guests to join because they
Uh-huh.
will know more on the table when we talk about what a Toastmasters is
Okay.
and how the club grows.
Uh-huh.
But it's totally in Chinese, of course.
Okay. So that's gossip lunch.
Yeah, gossip lunch.
Love that.
Yeah, you should have a try if you come to Beijing.
Sure. Thank you. I'd love to do that. With your 4 or 5 clubs that you're area director for, do you have any foreigners in any of those clubs?
Yes, actually, in my home club, there are 4 or 5 nationalities there, including the US, our remote member in the US. And also, we have members from the Netherlands, from Japan, and Saudi Arabia. So
Oh,
it's an international club.
I see. Has your club got an online component as well?
Yes, we are mixed hybrid. We have hybrid meeting, so you can join us online.
And so, are those foreigners there in person, or are they all online?
Actually, only the American members are online, and also some Chinese members who are located out of Beijing. They will attend the meeting online. The rest of us would join in person.
Okay. And with your Mandarin speaking clubs, are there any foreigners involved in those clubs?
Yes, some foreigners working in Beijing would have to try, and they want to improve their Chinese or Mandarin. They would come and talk in Chinese.
And how do they get on?
Yeah, they've made progress. They've made a very, I think it's a good place for them to learn Chinese and to make Chinese friends there. Very good.
What nationalities do they tend to be?
Also, actually, in my area or in my club, because I'm the English speaking club, so there are no one coming to learn Chinese. For the rest of my clubs in my area, they are all Chinese, I think. We don't have foreign friends there. But I do know that in some other clubs out of my area, like the friends from Germany, from Saudi Arabia, they would also attend some Chinese or bilingual Toastmasters club to learn Chinese or to make Chinese friends there.
Awesome. And so, is there a problem joining? Can any Toastmaster join online?
Some clubs they do have their online meeting. They will share their online link, but some clubs they are purely on site. You have to come there in person.
So, can a foreigner join one of the online clubs?
Yes.
There used to be talk of the Great Firewall of China. Have you heard of that?
Oh yes.
Does that cause an issue with foreigners wanting to join an online Chinese Toastmasters club?
I think it's okay because I think you may just download the meeting
Mm-hmm.
app like
Mm-hmm.
Tencent meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just join just like our American friends, our American member who join us every week.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean you have to be careful what you say, particularly as a foreigner.
In Toastmasters, I think usually we don't talk about politics,
Mm-hmm.
race, sex, or religion. Yes, these are something a little bit sensitive we should
Yeah.
avoid.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How do you find subjects for your speeches, Lele?
Oh, I would usually get my inspirations in my daily life. For example, when I saw something interesting or when I have some interesting stories in my workplace or in my life, I would try to make them into a speech. Then I would deliver it at my club.
And have you done any things that are quite uniquely Chinese?
Actually, uniquely Chinese, I don't think so, but I do share some of my experiences in the Olympics because
Mm-hmm.
it's unique for me, and it's also somehow inspiring for some other members because some of my members they told me that after hearing my stories at the Olympics, they decided to be an Olympic volunteer as well.
Okay, awesome. So people are joining to improve their English, and I hear grammarian is quite a big role in these meetings. Is that the case?
Yes, for Chinese people, I think grammar is something difficult for us to pay attention to, and whenever we speak, we have to pay attention to our grammar and I would always try my best to avoid making some uh, simple errors.
Hmm. So when you're speaking, you're being evaluated by a grammarian. How do you know that the grammarian's corrections are correct if they're also fellow learners?
Yes, I think usually those grammarians are some English teachers or who are good at English, who have a great English mastery. They are more sensitive to those errors, especially those grammatical errors, and they would point out at their report at the end of the meeting, so we can learn from those grammarian and teachers.
Sure. So you'll select the most qualified. You won't just give everyone a shot at being grammarian.
Yes, we would encourage every member to have a try because I think all the roles are valuable for them to have a try. And yeah, the grammarian, I think, it's one of the most challenging role
Mm.
in our club, but it's also very interesting, and we can all of us can learn a lot from it.
So if you had your like weakest English speaker as the grammarian and then they gave some feedback that wasn't correct, would a stronger English speaker then correct their correction?
Yeah, maybe because I think we are quite friendly. I think maybe we will point out the problem or point out the question in a very friendly and kind way to remind of speakers that they can improve. I think we are all English learners. We will make mistakes for sure. So it's never a shame for us to make mistakes, and we would always accept those problems or questions or advice pleasantly, yeah, with pleasure.
Awesome. I really embraced the concept when I was trying to learn Chinese that mistakes are your friend because that's how you learn. So I agree with that. Has Toastmasters impacted or influenced any other aspects of your life, Lele?
But I think because when I was immersed in in the environment and in the atmosphere, the people around me in Toastmasters are so energetic, positive, and
Mm.
passionate. I could always be influenced by them, and they would also um, empower me to be more optimistic towards life, towards those difficulties in my life, and they would also empower me to be a better uh, employer, employee at my workplace. And also, I think this is a place where I can learn not only communication skills but leadership style skills. There are so many outstanding leaders here, and I can see that what kind of leader that I want to be in the future, and how I want to be treated or how I should treat others in workplace. I really learned a lot from my fellows in Toastmasters.
That's
Yes.
awesome. What is your favorite Toastmasters experience?
My favorite Toastmaster experience, I think it should be the annual conference. I mean, the annual district conference. It's a big gathering for Toastmasters from different places in China. And we will share our stories. We will have speech contests, have a workshop there. And it's a great place for, it's a great an occasion for us to make friends, to share ideas, and to be empowered once again. So it's one of the most exciting and it's some event that I'm really looking forward to every year.
That's great. What was your favorite Toastmasters speech that you delivered?
The competition speech that I delivered last year is about my Olympic journey, how I become an Olympic volunteer. I think it was quite inspiring, and some of the audience told me that they were really touched and inspired by my speech. So I think that's the value of my speech of the competition.
That was the international competition?
Yes, international competition in English.
Okay, awesome. What's your favorite Toastmasters speech that you've ever heard?
Oh, the Toastmaster speech I got heard, it should be the table topic speech delivered by our champion last year, the district champion last year, because I was the table topic speech contest chair,
Hmm.
and he was our contestant, and he delivered a speech which delivered his ambition or aspiration to deliver or to compete for China on the international speech contest. So I thought it was very inspiring, and finally, yes, in the end, he got the champion in the district. So it was one of the most inspiring and powerful speech I've ever heard.
What was the topic?
The topic was, what does it mean to live a meaningful life?
Ah, right, okay. What was the gist of his response?
He just connected his experiences from speech from the club level to district to international. I mean, he he just connected his experience as a Toastmaster, and he said when from a very shy boy who didn't dare to deliver a table topic in the first meeting at the club, then gradually he competed in several competition contests in the club, then the area division, then district, and he just expects that he could represent China to compete in the international speech contest. Yes. And then he did. He made it. Because
Oh,
he
awesome.
also won the international speech contest. I mean, the English speech contest. And he advanced to the quarterfinal, the semi-final of the
Ah,
international speech contest.
what year was that? Sorry.
He advanced to the semi-final of the international speech contest in the US last year, representing China.
Can I ask his name?
His name is Johnson Zhang.
Okay, so I'll have to look that up online and see if I can add a link in the show notes. That sounds interesting. Thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add today, Lele?
Uh, Not that much. I think this is quite productive and informative interview. Thank you, Brandon.
Bukuchi, you're welcome.
My
Hangash
pleasure.
Riki, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, Lele. Thank you so much. Doshie, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to today's show. One of the key elements of Toastmasters is evaluations. This is how we grow and improve, both by encouraging comments for things we got right and points for improvement. We all learn and benefit from these evaluations, not just the person being evaluated. So any feedback in the comments is greatly appreciated. If you have a Toastmasters story you'd like to share or would like to be on the show, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at toastmastersworldtour@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.